In this video, we're going to sink our teeth into the Bossa Nova Jazz Standard Pensativa by Claire Fisher. This is a request from one of our subscribers, Martin Waugh, who in the video on advanced jazz chord turnarounds said, hey, there's so much in here, really enjoying sinking my teeth into it. Suggestions for Claire Fisher's Pensativa, which is interesting, he says. And yes, it is very interesting. It's a great tune. And what I'm going to do is play the A section first, just using the lead sheet. And then we're going to talk about the chord voicings, and I've actually written them out for you, some of them anyway, and we're going to discuss some of the different changes that you can use. Now, this is a really good thing to do because you can apply these chord voicings to pretty much any jazz standard. So stick around because there's a lot to learn here. Let me play the tune for you first, and then we'll dive in and start tearing it apart. And it basically just repeats. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and written out a sample of the chord voicings that I'm using, and I'm not playing it exactly as written here. It's a little difficult to transcribe sometimes, but there is a lot to learn from this sheet that I'm going to give you. You can actually download it using a link below. So let's take a look at the first 4 bars. It's essentially just G flat major 7. And I'm throwing in the 9th as well. Now, the interesting thing about the left hand is it's really doing that Bossa Nova thing. And it's loosely doing it, but it's keeping the rhythm for sure. And then the first 2 bars of the A section are the same. Now, when I get to the E flat 7 sharp 9 chord, you can play it like this. So from the G flat major 7th chord, now I play it a little bit differently now than it's actually written. So let me play it as written. So a little bit different. I think it's important to point out that this E flat 7 sharp 9 chord, what we're doing here in the left hand, and let me grab something to write with. So this is the chord that I'm referring to, and that's actually fourths. So it's the 3rd, the flat 7, and the sharp 9, which makes a nice chord. Now, the other thing that you could do that I played the first time around is these block chords that we're talking about, like this, which adds a lot more dissonance. And I'd like to actually write that out for you. So we're talking about the E flat 7 sharp 9 chord, where the melody is going from E flat to G flat, right? So E flat, and remember that the key signature is always implied here. So I'm not going to write all the accidentals. So let's just focus on those 2 chords, or those 2 notes. So when we got the E flat major 7th chord, what you're going to do is play the octaves in the left hand just with 1 note, right? G flat. And in the right hand, you're going to do these, which is essentially the flat 9, which is F flat or E natural, and then A flat and B flat, just like that. And that's all right hand. And then it moves up and does G natural, which is sort of let's go, well, actually we can put F sharp here, and that way we can put G natural there. And then B natural, and then D flat, like that. Now the other thing you can do is you can play, instead of the A flat, you can do a G natural, which is a diminished chord. Sounds good too. It's your choice. And I think when you look at melody notes like that, it's good to catch them and play some nice chords along with them. And then when we get to the D major 7th chord, this chord here, this is essentially fourths. So what I'm doing, I'm actually not playing A natural there, I'm playing A flat. So let's just scratch that out, just put flat, which is actually the sharp 11 of the chord. Which is a nice sound, especially if you can hit that root and the 3rd in the left hand. It's not easy to reach, but it sounds good if you can. You can roll it. And that's a nice chord there, the A flat 9 chord. All right, let's talk about that. So G flat minor 7 or F sharp minor 7. So fourths in the right hand. And then for the B7, you've got 1, 3, and 7 in the left. And then you've got your 9, sharp 11, and 13. And then we get to this D major 7th chord here, where instead of playing D major 7th, I'm basically taking a slice off the melody note, which is this. And I'm playing this. Now that sounds familiar because it's essentially from the tune So What? So it's basically, if the melody note did that, we're just following along with fourths and a 3rd on top. And then when we get to the D flat 7 chord, what I like to do is, because the melody note is the 13th, all we're going to do is play the same chord because it's minor seconds. So we're just going to follow it. So D flat 7, 1, 3, and flat 7 in the left, and in the right hand, 9, sharp 11, and 13. And just go up in half steps. Back down, half step, half step. Okay. I like that one because it falls underneath the fingers easily. I think I picked that up from a recording somewhere. I can't remember where, but I want to practice that. It's good practice, actually. Put a loop on it. All right, cool. So let's try one more time from the A. right, in our next video, we're going to tackle the bridge to Pensativa, which basically then goes into C for a little bit, then into A, before it gets back to G flat major 7. So really nice tune. And again, we're going to dedicate the next video to the bridge, and then we're going to learn how to solo over top of these really rich chords. And I think when we get to the solo video, you're going to want to hear that because it's not that easy to do, and so you're going to need a few ideas in order to figure that out. All right, you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We could use a few more subscribers just like you. And thanks again to Martin Waugh for the suggestion for Pensativa. I love this tune. And in the next video, we're going to do a little bit more of it. Thanks for your time.